Welcome everyone to another hotel review. I'm your hotel critic Caleb Kent, and I'm a multi-hobbyist here on YouTube. And in this review, I will be covering Disney's Fort Wilderness Resort and Campground. I got to stay at this property this first half of May, and here are my thoughts. Before we get started, here are some fun facts about the property. It was named after a fort located on Tom Sawyer Island at Disneyland. It has 4 miles of canals at the resort, and it is 750 acres in size. The theme of the property is modeled after forts in the American Old West, and immerses you into the natural beauty of the American frontier. And this property does a fantastic job at making that its case. I've shared my thoughts on how Disney's Wilderness Lodge right next door reminded me of Lake Tahoe, and this property is only different in the aspect that it is reminiscent of being in the natural forest, which isn't really shocking if you think about it. But it literally operates as if it's a natural park where people take camping trips.
Yeah, that is literally the point, Caleb.
Fair enough. Now, as I was about to say, when you arrive on the property, you'll check in at the outpost. Then when you make your way through the property, the never-ending amount of trees make the immersion of the American frontier blatantly obvious to you. Not to mention, it's absolutely gorgeous all around. You definitely will become one with Mother Nature here, just like a regular campground. And just in case you haven't taken note from the fact that this property is 750 acres in size, this property is gigantic. There are a total of 14 bus stop stations for this very resort, which is insane. But with that quantity of land, there's a lot of activities that this resort has to offer. There are 2 pools here, one next to Peacock Pass, and the main one located at the Meadow Recreation area. I very much admired this pool because it's low-key and it fits very well within the theme and the nature surroundings. And I like the design for the water slide. And there's also a jacuzzi, by the way. And I recommend checking out the Fort Wilderness Rec area, as it's just a cute place to relax and take in the environment. The resort also has a Chippendales campfire sing-along, a nighttime movie projection show, an archery experience, a nearly half-hour-long horse carriage ride, pony rides, wagon rides around the resort, fishing, basketball, volleyball, jogging trails, playgrounds, arcades, Segway adventures, and rentals for canoes, kayaks, and bikes. Needless to say, you've got a lot of things you can do here at this resort. Way too many for me to have time for. This place does not seem to waste any amount of land that it has, and utilizes every aspect of nature into something to do. There's nothing else for me to say about the exterior other than it's beautiful and super immersive regarding nature. When it comes to dining, there's only a few choices. There's Trails and Restaurant, which is your mobile order restaurant. Next door inside is a bar called Crockett's Tavern. There's a snack bar at the Meadow Recreation area called Meadow Snack Bar. At the campfire sing-along is the Chuck Wagon. And finally, there is a country musical dinner experience known as Hoop-Dee-Doo Musical Review, which seems like a fun time. Disney, if you ever update the Hoop-Dee-Doo Musical Review, please consider Morgan Wallen with helping you out. He would make you a ton of bank. So, those are your options here. And I'd say Disney Springs is the way to go if you want more options dining-wise. This property is located in the Magic Kingdom area, and getting from place to place here is quite complicated. Once again, there are 14 bus stop stations. The Outpost Depot at the front has buses that can take you to Epcot, Disney's Hollywood Studios, Disney's Animal Kingdom, and Disney Springs. And there are 3 resort bus routes that all start from the Settlement Depot. At the Settlement Depot is where you can either A, take a bus to Disney's Magic Kingdom, or B, take a resort boat launch to Disney's Magic Kingdom, which is what I personally recommend doing. It's beautiful all around, you get grand views of Bay Lake, you get a good look at Discovery Island, it's calming, it's not that long of a journey, and it's just nice. But that's coming from me. And as far as which bus route to take, it depends on where you are staying on the property. And not to mention that this property is huge, and walking from one end to the other is gonna be a long journey. And the only parking lot other than for the accommodations is out the outpost. That is, for cars. The resort offers golf carts that you can rent for getting around, and I strongly recommend everyone do that if you stay here. It will make things so much easier for getting around, and there are parking spots for them all throughout the resort, including at the Outpost Depot and Pioneer Hall. Plus, It's also quite fun to drive them. Now it's on to the accommodations. There are no actual traditional hotel rooms at this resort. So that begs the question, is this video even considered a hotel review? Well, first off, it's a Disney World property, so I have to stay here for the credit. Second, they have cabins you can stay in, which is, in a sense, a fancy hotel room. The property also has campsites for camping, where you can either put up tents or park an RV for your stay. I don't like camping due to the conditions, and I don't have an RV. So naturally, I stayed in one of the cabins. Before I talk about the cabin, I just want to say that you can park your cars and golf carts at your campsite or cabin. Now, how good are the cabins? They are quite the getaway. I love the wooden panel walls, the paintings, the curtains, the natural wood designs with some of the furniture, animal themes. It's just so unapologetically wilderness, and the surroundings outside only make that more true. So to break down the layout, there's a patio outside with a table and a charcoal grill next to the porch. The main door where you enter for the first time brings you inside the living room with a table for 6 and kitchen. Then there's a hallway that leads to a bathroom with a shower tub and a bedroom with a queen bed and bunk bed. And the living room couch converts into a double bed, and since I slept on it during my stay, I can confirm that it's not uncomfortable. This is an extremely well-designed cabin, and there are so many things Disney added here to make you feel like you are actually in a real natural park. Oh, and dogs are allowed in the cabins, by the way. And the resort is currently building new modernized cabins, which are a Disney Vacation Club resort, and are set to open this year in late September. So yeah, need to check those out and review them someday. But that also brings me to a con I have with this place, or more specifically, my experience with this place. So Disney World now has extended evening hours for select theme parks on certain nights for Disney Deluxe Resorts and Disney Deluxe Villa Resorts. And that includes this resort. The problem I have is that it's talking about the new cabins being built right now at the time of this video's upload. It's not talking about the wilderness cabins at the resort, which is what I stayed in. So when I saw that at first glance, I naturally thought it was talking about the cabins we were staying at and we could stay longer at Epcot that night. But when it wouldn't let us join virtual queue for Cosmic Rewind at 6 p.m. that night because it said we didn't have a reservation, that's when we asked guest relations and they explained it's talking about the new cabins. Luckily, we did Cosmic Rewind the next day after we checked out, but that is very misleading, especially since the new cabins haven't even opened yet! And Disney, if you are watching this, you probably aren't. But if you are, please change the name for the new cabins to something like Frontier Cabins at Disney's Fort Wilderness Resort, or anything to differentiate the wilderness cabins, because if all you add is a Disney Vacation Club Resort at the end for the name, how are people supposed to know the difference when the cabins at Disney's Fort Wilderness Resort is also the name for the wilderness cabins? Sorry, I lost my temper a little bit. So yeah, if you stay here in the wilderness cabins, just know that you don't get the extended evening hours perk. And one thing I'm not big about with this property is how big it is. For the theme, immersion, purpose, and activities that it provides, it's great for how big it is. But when you are staying at Disney World for the theme parks and its many attractions, it's not really convenient. Assuming you don't have a golf cart, you'll have to take 2 different buses to get back to your cabin or campsite, and if you have a golf cart or any vehicle you bring that's permitted on property, you'll have to worry about when, where, and who will have it when getting everywhere, since if you check out but still want to explore the resort, you'll have to park your car at the Outpost parking lot and then plan out how to get to where you want to go and decide what stuff you want to bring with you. It was because of that challenge and time we had on the day we checked out that I wasn't able to film everything I wanted for this property. Plus, the weather that day got stormy literally moments after I packed up all my stuff in my car. So if you go here for camping or a getaway where you couldn't care less about the theme parks and getting the places on property isn't an issue, this is great. But as for the rest of us, no, not exactly. So to summarize it all, this resort isn't super deluxe and convenient like the other properties at Disney World are, but it sure is one large, unique, and beautiful place to stay at. In conclusion, if you are looking for a Disney World resort property with a unique experience, relaxing environment, tons of things to do, or if you love camping, this will be a great pick for you. But if you prioritize convenience with transportation, luxury, and just a more Disney type of stay, then I'd recommend checking out other places to stay at Disney World. I want to reiterate that I thought this property was lovely, and there are many things I appreciated about this resort for what it has to offer. It's got nature, it's got experience, it's got things to do, and it's just nice. And anyone staying here will enjoy themselves, even if it is a little confusing when figuring out transportation. I got 7 more properties in total to check off here at Disney World, and I plan on coming back one day to check out the new cabins. But as far as staying for the theme parks, this isn't it for me personally, but that's also because I didn't have time to take in everything. But even with that said, it's an amazing resort to stay at all around. So, after everything I've said, Disney's Fort Wilderness Resort and Campground gets a final score of 88 out of 100. Thank you for watching this hotel review, and I will catch you all next time. Over and out, on to the outro. Hey, thank you so much for watching this video. If you want to go check out some other videos that I have made, you're just one click on the channel icon away from doing so. If you want to find me on social media, I'm on Instagram, TikTok, and Snapchat. They're listed right up. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and share if you wish to do so. And if you are or will be a returning viewer, I will see you in the next video. Have an amazing day.